Well, joining me now from Montreal is the sponsor of that motion, Quebec Liberal MP Frank Baylis. Mr. Baylis, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So before we get to some of the specifics in your plan, let's kind of start from the beginning with why you see the need to overhaul how the House of Commons operates on a daily basis.
I think there's an excellent opportunity for us to get more effective, have better debates, and also do it in a more civil and respectful manner.
So you're a first-time MP in this Parliament. Is there a certain debate, a certain example or moment that you can point to as a catalyst for you wanting to work on this issue? Or are you just kind of looking at how you've seen the House of Commons operating as a whole over the past 3 years?
So the way we behave is not acceptable in the House of Commons. And I made myself a promise once I got elected and I saw it that I would never allow myself to become acclimatized to it. And I've been working since I've been elected to try and find ways to make it more respectful, more civil, and also more productive. So there wasn't one particular moment, but I can draw on specific moments that really impacted me, where I saw behavior that's not acceptable. And I'm not putting on any party or any one group of people. I think there's an opportunity for all of us, and I include myself, to do better. And that's what I hope this motion will do.
All right, so let's look at some of those ideas you're looking at. Now, it may be a surprise to some viewers that in the House, the Speaker actually has limited control over who speaks during debate, over who speaks during question period. Now, you're calling for the Speaker to, in fact, have more authority over that speaking list. Why do you think that's important?
I'm actually calling for the Speaker to get back the authority that he always had. If you look at his name, he's called the Speaker of the House of Commons. So what is his job? His job, theoretically, is to decide who speaks. However, over the last 20, 25 years, that has slowly crept away from him to the point where all he does right now, or she does right now, is read a list. And that's not their job. And because of that, they don't have the tools necessary to enforce proper behavior. I'll give you an example, and you asked for one. I was in the Commons once, and there was a debate going on, and one member interrupted 4 times another member, that the Speaker had to stand up and say, "Will you please let this other person finish their speech?" Once that person finally got their speech done, guess who was next up on the list to speak? It was that member who was disrupting all the other person's speech. And I could see the Speaker going, "I'll have to do it," and let him speak. Now, if the Speaker had control of the House, he would look at that member and say, "You're not speaking. Till I see better behavior from you, or more civil behavior, I'll cut you off." That's how it works in other parliaments. That's how it's always worked in the past in Canada. So this is not a new thing. This is really bringing us back to something that existed before.
Okay, and another idea you have is that chairs of standing committees who are currently elected just by the committee members themselves should now be elected by the full House of Commons. So you would want to see all 338 MPs voting on the chairs who are in charge of those various committees, such as, finance, defense, justice, etc. How do you think that would improve the way committees operate over what we see now?
Yeah, and I'll put one little pointer here. These are not my ideas. These are ideas of things that existed in the past or exist in parliaments in the United Kingdom, in Australia, elsewhere. So they're really not my ideas, and I can't even say I've written all of it. I've worked with members from all parties to try and draft this thing. So I want to make it clear this is not my idea and that. Now, to answer your specific question with respect to committees' job is to take a draft of a bill, look it over, and talk to experts, and then report back to the House. So by making the chair of that committee responsible and put in place by the House, it gives them more credibility, and it will make it such that I believe we will get better laws. We'll get better review of our laws, more effective, and have a better, contrebalance, a balance between the minister and the committee to ensure that the best laws come out.
Now, you spoke about some other parliaments. The British and Australian parliaments have a second chamber, a parallel chamber, to allow for additional debate. That's also included in the motion. So, tell me a bit about what that would look like and what benefit that would bring.
Yeah, so that's a good example where you brought up. The Australians have had this for 25 years, and the British have had it for 20 years. So I don't want anyone to think we're breaking new ground here. We're actually quite far behind. What these second chambers do is they allow private members to debate more, to bring more ideas, more motions, more bills forward, and they also allow time for work that comes from outside of Parliament to be looked at. And they also allow us to test new ways of debating and discussing matters. So this is an amazing opportunity to give more power to the average MP, whether that MP is a backbencher in the government or in another party, but to be more effective. So the second chamber really plays an excellent role in that way.
Now, you're also looking at increasing democratic engagement using the petition process. You're looking at changing the hours that voting occurs to help MPs get back to their constituencies on weekends and be with their families. So you've got a wide array of proposals here. And as you said, you've worked with MPs from other parties. So let's close on this. What do you see in terms of the support that you hope to get from other MPs and from the parties themselves as you move forward? And what is the timeline that you're looking at?
So this has been the ground-up approach. I started off by dealing with members in the Green Party, the NDP Party, the Conservative Party, and the Liberal Party, and they've all contributed in one way, form, or fashion to this motion. And then I presented it in our caucus, and I have an awful lot of people supporting it. There's a lot of interest in there. I can't speak to the other caucuses, but I can speak to other of my colleagues in different parties, and I've had a lot of very positive response. So I'm actually optimistic. The challenge will be to get it to a vote in the House of Commons and then to see if people support these changes or not. But I feel that there's a strong will and a very strong appetite to do better from all parties.
Okay, well, we'll continue following the progress of your motion over the next few months and perhaps even into the next Parliament. Frank Baylis, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.